Apple teleport? What the hell is this?
Yo, what's going on?
It's witchcraft. It's called lesser magic. Let's get into it. So even artificial intelligence, aka Akashic Index, will tell you that lesser magic is a practice that uses psychological and manipulative techniques to create change in the world, oneself, and others.
I interviewed jet pilots that say they saw something, but
you better lock in and buckle up, bucko!
Cause you're in for another creepy and scary TikTok reaction video with your boy JetskiChucK. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button because we're about to dive into the creepiest, most disturbing, mysterious theories on YouTube and TikTok. Remember, this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. It's up to us to do our own research on everything and separate fact from fiction. Without further ado, let's dive into tonight's video.
Don't tell me this is one of Elon's rockets. This looks like freaking cardboard, y'all. Like, really? This is flying through space, flying through the atmosphere? Yeah, we get it. It's sheet metal, but I mean, come on, you guys. That would not provide any support. There'd be no reason for that crap on there. It reminds me how the Apollo 11 was made out of aluminum foil, basically, and aluminum melted like, what, 1200? And it got up to 5,000 at the re-entry to Earth. And remember last year, they were saying that these things that we kept seeing in the sky were SpaceX, right? If that was really cardboard or sheet metal, that stuff would have blown right off or melted off. Mars, here we come. Don't tell me this is one of Elon's rockets.
It literally does look like cardboard in the inside. What is going on? How do we know this is even one of his rockets?
If a rapper can do this to make it look like he's descending from a UFO with aliens, and hundreds and even thousands of people in New York City are witnessing this, some of them scared for their lives, I can't imagine what someone with access to some of the most powerful technology in the world and access to billions of dollars can do. Obviously, this isn't real, and I'm sure after some time they realized that this was probably a hologram, but this is just Lil Uzi Vertical, a rapper, doing a promotion for his album. This is absolutely insane. It's for his album Eternal A Take Two, and it has this whole alien vibe and some weird demonic stuff going on. But still, if you would have told me when I was growing up that this would be an album promotion, I would have thought you were crazy. And I'm not saying we should fear this technology because God is the king of this earth. I'm just letting you know that it's out there and it's important to be aware. But just take a look at this raw footage.
Yo, what's going on?
If a rapper can do this,
Activate submersible. We gotta dive into this. What they say is Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert UFO. So you telling me rappers have access to Project Bluebeam? I need an explanation how he can pull this off, because that literally looks like a UFO. And they said this was in New York? How are they able to pull this off?
No, this is not CGI, as unearthly ships the size of a city are coming out of hiding, appearing all over the US, ready to attack. They've been monitoring us. People were terrified after a New Yorker went viral when he recorded a huge unearthly ship moving fast towards him in New York City, near a military base, shooting white beams, with many experts saying the eerie words, "They are here." This gets creepier as several people from different parts of the city recorded the ship from different angles, moving erratically and zooming several miles per second, seemingly trying to look for something or someone. Other videos show the haunting size of the ship being as big as several New York City skyscrapers combined, with way more weapons, as this all comes after several UFO sightings across the world, with many of them being spotted in our military bases. Others believe this particular New York City sighting is a hologram to promote Lil Uzi's album.
They are straight fear-mongering. I didn't know this was going on. Did you guys hear about this?
Yo, what's going on? End of the world.
literally see somebody right there.
Oh, ye simple ones, how long will you love simple things, as the Bible says? This is Lil Uzi Vert's album cover for Eternal Take 2, or at least some artwork regarding the album. Look at this. Take a moment and look at this. If you haven't seen this already, pause, zoom in, do what you gotta do. Go to Google, do what you gotta do. Guys, this stuff, come on. But I'm crazy though. The Christians are crazy. Y'all are honestly top tier gaslighters for the people who say, oh, you're reaching, oh, you're stretching it. Okay, sure. So basically the backstory, it's kind of like a continuation from his first album, has to do with alien abduction and things of that nature. You can go ahead and look it up. Plead the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not going to search it up. I just don't care to. But you guys, I'm going to show y'all that this stuff is satanic and it's witchcraft. It's called lesser magic. Let's get into it. So even artificial intelligence, aka Akashic Index, will tell you that lesser magic is a practice that uses psychological and manipulative techniques to create change in the world, oneself, and others. It is also known as everyday or situational magic. It can be executed through role-playing, psychological manipulation, the command to look, and so on and so forth. Have you ever seen someone walking down the stairs and in your head you said, oh, that person's gonna trip? Or maybe you said it out loud and it actually ended up manifesting. Now, Lord, forgive me. If you've done it, repent as well, if you care to. But that is a form of lesser magic. We all have a nature within us that can manifest things, for we are created from the greatest manifester, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. And the people in the industry are using this power for evil, and that is what is called witchcraft or magic. So as it said in the definition that we just read, role-playing and psychological manipulation is a form of lesser magic. So when you see in the media, they're constantly talking about Satan, they're constantly talking about aliens and UFOs, they're constantly talking about war and strife and all this unrest around the world, and you're seeing it manifest in reality, but you're going to hop on my page and say that I'm crazy, or one of my brothers or sisters in Christ's page and say that we're all crazy and we're reaching. No, you're crazy and you're blind. Guys, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm actually just up here yapping. This is strictly entertainment. But if you don't know Jesus Christ, you need to find out who he is, because there's a great spiritual battle going on and you had no idea for most of your life. But it's okay. We all had a turning point, and very well yours could be today. So Christ is reaching out to you and you must return to him, for we came from him. Amen.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
Welcome everyone to the Hurting Humanity channel. What you saw there is just a small glimpse of the technology they have at their fingertips that they can go forward with Project Bluebeam, because that was something that was projected in New York City for, of course, what would be connected to that? Why would they be doing that? Well, they have to push some satanic musician who has an album about aliens and man mating with aliens, which I'll get into more detail about in this video in a minute. But those are the types of things that we see out in front of us. This type of technology being used in the sky at the same time that we see all these mysterious events occurring in the sky, like two moons, like everybody being able to see the northern lights. They are getting ready to deceive majorly. In the United States of America specifically, they are setting people up and preparing them for this. And I'll show you more of the footage of this UFO that was flying in New York City and how people were responding to it in a second. But this is all tied back to Lil Uzi Vert. That's the musician's name. Does that sound like something? Say it 3 times fast. Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Lucifer, right? That's what his name is derived from, Lucifer. As are all of these musicians. They are Satanists. And his new music video and his new album was just released. And of course, the thumbnail for it, you could see him crossing his hands over his chest, which I'll get into in more detail in a few minutes. But of course, you could see him in bed with what is perceived as aliens, what we would look at as aliens, which of course, if you understand how this all works, this is really demons. As Aleister Crowley once said, today we call them angels and demons, tomorrow they will call them something else, and that is alien. And the depiction of what we look at as an alien actually comes from Aleister Crowley's Lam, the entity that Aleister Crowley channeled and summoned. That is what we see as the depiction of what an alien is. And that's done by design. That's conditioning you for what they have planned. And they've been conditioning you for this for a while. But most recently, we even saw at the MTV Video Music Awards, which I covered, which of course has been wiped off the internet, except of course it's available on my website, was them showing you this theme of aliens hooking up with humans, right? And this goes back, this is biblical. This is the fallen ones. This is the Watchers. This is the Nephilim that they're showing us. Man mating with demons. And for anybody out there that's not familiar with Lil Uzi Vert, Lucifer, we've seen him out in public before wearing an upside down cross on his neck. He's always holding up the devil horns over his forehead, holding up devil horns, sticking out his tongue, of course, doing the serpent's tongue. The young people out there, their parents stick them in front of a TV. The kids start worshiping these people. They refuse to believe that it's idol worship. And then all of a sudden your son's dressing as a woman. It all goes back to these musicians and these Hollywood celebrities. That's their job as government assets. That's why they're rewarded with fame and fortune to do these things. That's why they all do the same things. That's why this album and video is paying homage to Heaven's Gate and to this alien deception that's coming, right? There's nothing original about it because every single musician out there has something in regards to aliens, mating with aliens. Katy Perry just did it. We've seen Ariana Grande do it. It's a very common theme, but this is the Project Bluebeam conditioning that we're seeing around you. Here's some of the video clips that were put out on the internet that people took on their phones of them literally being allowed to do this up in the sky and showing you how people were responding to it, of course.
Crazy, right? Swag, dude! What is that? Rocket! Yo, what's going on?
I wish I could see it so I could see
So
like how real it looks.
Even more realistic they could make this look, because they can make it look more realistic. And one of the things that you saw was actually a human being being projected in the sky, as if to say that they were abducted. And this, of course, makes everybody out there who's paying attention to what's going on think about rapture programming and potential fake rapture events that the government may pull. And don't forget about the thing I've been covering a lot the last year or so is the Vatican publishing those new norms to discern alleged supernatural phenomena, because that's very important, because the Vatican's going to be the spiritual religious authority on any type of supernatural event. So if they simulate something in the sky, all they need to do is have the Pope come out and tell us that it was apparition or something from God himself. It was Jesus in the sky. It was a sign from God. And the people out there will believe it. Don't forget when we have this herding mechanism going on right now, which I'll get into more detail later in the video with Donald Trump, who's recently talking about UFOs and the UFO deception as well. They keep the Republicans and the Democrats, they keep them on board with certain things, right? Both sides believe that aliens could be real, right? Both sides believe that they'll have no repercussions or they're not concerned about where technology and AI is headed, right? And this is one of the things that they're going to keep them on board with. There's going to be major alien deception. It's going to tie into a lot of spiritual deceptions that are going on. So to go back to the music video, I just want to show you the theme here with, again, Lil Uzi Vert, as well as the Project Bluebeam theme that we see out in the open, is the video and the theme of man mating with demons, right? Transformation that's going on and is going to come. So you see him in bed, right? He's got his arms crossed. He's doing the devil horns. This is in homage of Osiris, the Egyptian god. And we've seen this before where even Freemasons out in the open, they cross their arms over their chest. If you haven't noticed the repetition in the pattern, a lot of these celebrities are always doing this pose. Nobody pays attention to it. It's not as obvious, of course, as the hand over the eye one is, but you'll see here the pattern. We've seen Stephen King do it. We've seen Robin Williams. We've seen all these celebrities. Jerry Seinfeld. You don't think much of it, right? Chris Brown, Simon Cowell. I mean, you could see all the celebrities flashing before your face here who do this imagery in front of you. Taylor Swift most recently, Miley virus, Michael Jackson. Okay, there's obviously a theme here with the X. And the X symbol, which I've covered in detail on the website, is a symbol for the coming Antichrist. So he's doing this deliberately while he's in bed with a bunch of what we would perceive as aliens. But really, these are demons, right? And they even show you this because as the video goes on, we see people demonically possessed. We see their eyes turn into what we would look at, right, as demon possession, demonic possession. So you can see that there's a connection here between aliens, the UFO deception, and actual demons. And again, they're one and the same. And the other thing that we've heard over and over recently is a lot of talk about crypto terrestrials. We've heard a lot of things about reptilians. We even heard Nancy Pelosi recently reference herself or itself as being a reptilian.
They didn't know what they were talking about. We know we're different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win.
You know, of course she was going to say that, but...
Poor baby.
Yeah, she's really, really committed to that. It's really sad.
No, I'm not a poor baby. I'm more reptilian, cold-blooded, and different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian. No, I'm not a poor baby. I'm more reptilian.
Harvard social scientists lay out the case for the existence of crypto-terrestrials such as lizard people. We've even seen the theme of movies like The Watchers that have come out and have talked openly about what is in the book of Enoch in regards to the fallen ones. For those of you that don't know, the Watchers, 200 angels that were cast down, who were supposed to be watchers, who ended up mating and interbreeding with humans, which created the Nephilim. The Nephilim mentioned in the book of Genesis in chapter 6.
They got an actual movie out about it now? I am under a rock.
6 verse 4, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. The same were the mighty men that were of old, the men of renown. And that's what this has to do with technology and the mixing of iron and clay, man and machine, but also having an understanding about this technology actually being demonic. Nobody ever thinks about what is this technology that we're using? How does it even work? How are we able to pick up a phone and talk to somebody who's in another country on a phone? Nobody thinks about that and how they harvest energy. And those are things I'm going to go into more detail. So again, a lot of these movies have these themes, right? Where there's these entities that are out watching the people. And we're seeing it more and more now. We're seeing more and more of these movies come out now that are even referencing the book of Enoch. That movie is referencing the book of Enoch. It's referencing the fallen ones. It's referencing the Nephilim, and it's taking out the words and putting in words to replace the fallen ones. And of course, all this technology and all these things that we have now, these people that came up with these things were given this knowledge. They didn't come up with this knowledge of how they could create cell phones and make these things work through towers. This was all given to them. This is a spiritual war that's going on. It's very important that people understand. So the video on the Watchers is going to be available over on my Nations Conspire channel. So back to Lil Uzi Vert, Lucifer, right? And how there's this big UFO deception that's coming. The headlines are that Heaven's Gate and Lil Uzi Vert is what inspired him with his Eternal Take and his video, and that was the inspiration, right? So those of you that don't know about Heaven's Gate, by drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, back in 1997, commonly designated a cult, it was founded in 1974 and led by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles, known within the movement as Do and T. And I'm only reading you about what this was in regards to because there's a tie-in, of course, with the Bible, right? They believed that they were the two witnesses of Revelation, so they attracted a large following of people. They described the theology of Heaven's Gate as a mixture of Christian ufology and New Age, and it's been characterized as a UFO religion. So there's a tie between, right, when we see this now, we know that Christianity has moved, the public Christianity, the way that's perceived, it's moved towards a New Age theology, right? Christianity that we see out in the open is not just, people reading the Bible, which is really what it should be. Just reading the Bible, interpreting the Bible word for word, taking it literally. We've seen how Christianity has been infiltrated by this New Age movement. And the UFO deception is going to be a part of that. So he's paying homage to that, which is deliberately done, but it's for psychological reasons that most people out there don't really understand, and how Christians are going to be deceived with Project Bluebeam. Everyone pretends they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on in Area 51? Oh, they don't want you to see it. They don't want you to see it, which makes people think more so. They're hiding something. They're hiding something. This is basic mind control, right? But what they're actually hiding has nothing to do with aliens flying around in UFOs from outer space and from other planets. It has to do with the spiritual realm. It has to do with actual demonic entities. These things, you want to call them lizard people, you want to call them reptilian. That's what they're getting people prepared for. It's actually spiritual. And Christians won't even know it when it goes down. I mean, Trump has come out and done what? He's got his Space Force operation, right? Which is just as cringy as it gets. Recently, was on Joe Rogan. They're on board with the coming alien deception.
There's a lot of interest in the people coming from space, you know.
Yes. How much did they tell you about that?
A lot. But I interviewed a few people. I interviewed jet pilots that say they saw something. But I interviewed jet pilots that were solid people. And they said, we saw things, sir, that were very strange. Like a round ball, but it wasn't a comet or a meteor. It was something. And it was going 4 times faster than an F-22, which is a very fast plane. And it was round. They said, sir, there's something there. You know,
there's something there.
Said it, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to quite a few of
them.
They're
not conspiracy guys.
So again, he's validating this, right? Oh, Trump, he's going to expose the deep state. He's going to give us all these truths. He's a Christian. He's one of us. And one of the big deceptions is Project Bluebeam. And again, if you don't know about Project Bluebeam, my videos on that are over on the website. I'm sure there'll be more over here on YouTube talking about how they're going to simulate this in the sky to deceive people, possible simulations of raptures, possible Messiah simulations in the sky, UFO simulations. There's a big deception that's coming. They gatekeep the alien deception because they bring attention to it as if it's something the government doesn't want you to know about because it's real, because it's real. So they keep building this up in their mind as if it's real. And there's truth to it because demons are real. Like I said, Aleister Crowley. Today they call them angels and demons. Tomorrow they will call them something else, and that is aliens. So it's all about perception, right? When the government fakes, these alien, deceptions and these simulations in the sky, and tells people that there's aliens, and then baits them into say, oh gosh, the government knew about this. They never told the people. It'll make the people believe it even more that it's real. But the part of it that they're not going to grasp is the demonic entities, the spiritual aspect of all of it, I should say. So we see all this stuff going on around us, right? We see all these musicians constantly referencing aliens and UFOs, showing aliens making out with people, aliens mating with people, little Uzis in bed with these demons, right? Everybody becomes demonically possessed. He's flying UFOs over New York City. And you watch how people respond. Imagine how they're going to respond when they actually unleash Project Bluebeam. Because the technology that they have is so much further advanced than anything they reveal to us that it'll be pretty easy to dupe people. Probably even people like us will be like, wow, I mean, that's really realistic. I mean, we always have to stand on guard. I see people comment all the time like, thanks for reminding me of this stuff. Because if you stop paying, if you just take your guard down for a second, you can get sucked right back into the matrix. You really can. It's very easy to. You get frustrated with the truth. You say, nobody's listening to me. You say, I don't want to listen to, hurting humanity anymore. It's too deep. It's too dark. It's too depressing. You turn the TV on, you start listening.
These waters are getting too deep. I'm sick of it. Hey, I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
The news again, all that stuff. You get sucked easy as that. So this deception is going to work on people. We see Christians and how easily deceived they are by Donald Trump. Just imagine when they unleash Project Bluebeam, how badly they're going to fall for it. So no surprise here. I mean, you got to love the fact that he's crossing his arms, paying homage, Antichrist, right? Making the X symbol, the Osiris symbol across his chest with the devil horns. I mean, the things that they're doing, ladies and gentlemen, we've never seen anything like it before. I mean, and it's just going to get worse. I can't imagine what this place is going to look like in 5 years from now if we're still actually here on out. But make sure you're sub to Nations Conspire.
Something's about to happen. I don't know what or when, but something's about to go down. They prepping us for Project BB. That's all they got on the subject, y'all. We're going to move on a little bit more. Drop your thoughts below.
No! Apple teleport? What the hell is this? When I tell you it's over, it's over. 29 million? We cannot afford that. Apple phones for the people with no money and Apple teleport for the rich and wealthy. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna have to come up with this 29 million some way somehow. Is there any finance options? So you telling me the Nightcrawler from X-Men was real? Y'all been had this. Y'all didn't just come out with this. Guys, we're gonna have to put our money together to use this. Do you understand what this means? You could go anywhere, at any time. You don't gotta get on an airplane no more. 29 million to be anywhere, any place, at any time is worth it. Guys, please let me know what you think in the comments. We all need to come together, put our money together, and buy this. But the only problem is, it's gonna stay in my house. Is there any way I could trade in my iPhone or my iPad for this? Because I'll get rid of it right now. Imagine having beef in the streets and a dude tells you to pull up and you say, yeah, be there in 1 second. And he thinks you're playing it, boom, you're right there. This is insane. These things are coming in different shapes and sizes. You see it. Damn, how am I gonna come up with 29 million, man? I need that. If there's anybody rich enough to afford this, please inbox me. I wanna see if it works. When you start to see shit like this is how you know the world is about to end. Why now? This should have came out 10 years ago. I would have been saved up for this. Hold on, guys. Let me check my savings account. Shit, I don't got enough. No!
I gotta type this in. I know they probably trolling, but I gotta type it in. Apple teleport. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, it's a meme. It's gotta be a meme. Apple teleport. You gotta be kidding me. Unbelievable.
Hey yo, have y'all heard of what's called an NPC? A non-player character? Just like in any video game, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, characters just fill in space. Well, if y'all haven't, I need y'all to check this out.
I've come to see it now as maybe there really are only maybe 100 million souls. There's really 100 million humans here. The rest are non-player characters. Maybe more, maybe less, but my sense is a lot of the people we see on the street are not really people. They're literally just created beings by the system to, yeah, just like in a video game, to populate the world, to make, and they are so, it's not even that they're programmed. I almost get the sense that they have an antenna inside of them that's hooked to a main broadcast frequency. So the world, in a sense, in general, all these non-player characters will just go ahead with whatever the programming says to go ahead.
This is what they do to our history. And no, this isn't some old European city. This is America, Cleveland, Ohio. And again, another covering up of the old world architecture in Texas. Piece by piece, little by little, they have changed and erased all of our true history. It is amazing how much of our true past they have covered up, buried, destroyed, and erased. The mud flood was a very opportune time for the controllers to come in and rewrite the narrative of history. I don't think they necessarily caused it, but they definitely gained from it. Definitely had prior knowledge. And with the last reset, the mud flood, not only did they cover up buildings and our history, they erased entire civilizations, entire empires, the Tartarian Empire in particular. Of course, when you look for Tartaria today, the mainstream has worked hard to erase all traces of this empire and laugh it off to the masses as nothing more than a conspiracy. A conspiracy theory, or a term used by European cartographers that didn't quite know what was out in the eastern regions of Asia. Yet that is not what true history tells us at all about Tartaria. Nations of Tartars
It says the most ancient nations of Tartars and Alta, which was the parent of many nations, been an enemy of the Empire of China above 4,000 years, during which time as they had many wars with China, which they were Famtines. This looks like there's no S, and they're using F instead of S. I don't know. Was conquered. Super confusion stuff, but what we could take away from this, the essence of this, is that Tartars was a parent nation, and it looks like China was an enemy, which would explain why the Great Wall of China, the highest part, is facing towards China. So like they were trying to ward off China. Just something to think about.
Which were the parents of many nations. Or this wall, the Great Wall of China? Or was it really built by the Tartarians? Of course, the mainstream would tell us to ignore all of this. But if Tartaria is just no more than a placeholder for European cartographers, why does this map book from Russia? And here's a picture of the rough translations for those who don't speak Russian. Well, it's just strange that in this Russian cartography map, they too also depict Tartaria as Tartaria. Here's another page from that book too. Really interesting book. A lot of great and highly detailed Russian maps. But yeah, there's definitely no Tartarian Empire. Just listen to the mainstream narrative. Definitely don't read this article from the Freemason magazine either.
Under whatever name known, the objects of the society have been the same politically. The overthrow of the Tartars and genuinely the formation of mutually protective associations, thus the chief of Cash Lodge or of each province.
No. Wouldn't want to get you any ideas from that. Great empire and the great cover-up that went along with its fall. Just look at what the CIA tells us. Research the mud flood and fall of Tartaria, friends. Dig up the truth. Question everything.
This entire video is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. It's up to us to separate fact from fiction.
Cobalt glass, and I started drinking out of it, and I started noticing that I was like totally zen, like totally just focused, like just nothing could bother you. And I thought, this is interesting. So each glass has a different property which helps to turn on a different part of the body. And when you get into glassware like Bohemia and all the glassware that they used to make, they only drank out of certain materials. They only had infused glass. They would put their milk in this glass. They had bowls with this glass. They had spoons, cups, all of this. So then you start to think, okay, if it's toxic, why would you cook your entire dinner and drink out of it if it was as toxic as we were told?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't be just making all this glassware, having soup and honey and breakfast and dinner and drinking coffee and things like that. So I started collecting a lot of glassware, and I started experimenting with different glass, and I started to notice that this is another one related to, infusing glass. You think of stained glass windows. So I bought a cobalt glass, and I
would love to drink out of something like that. It looks like something off a video game, like a mana potion or something.
This is Pakiakta. It's fun to say and even more fun to look at because what the hell is that? Pakiakta is an ancient site built by the Inca. You can access it on their 3 million square kilometer road that they built. Directly to the south is Rumacolca. Equally fun to say and provides us with our first clue on what these things are with this polygonal masonry. Those building techniques are found around the globe, but we can't figure out how they did it. Directly north is Cusco. In Cusco, you can find houses sitting on these megalithic blocks, and the Coricancha now has a cathedral built over the original temple, which is also megalithic. The fortress of Sacsayhuaman is also in Cusco. This is the closest thing we get architecturally to the layout of Pachiacta. Now, it's exceptionally difficult to build perfect geometry on a non-level plane. Both of these appear to resemble a circuit board more than they do a residence or a fortress, much like many temples of the ancient world. Precision and geometry don't add up to a civilization that is considered primitive, superstitious, and low-tech. I explored the relationship of geometry to frequency quite a bit, but let's anchor this.
Most mysterious and intriguing thing that baffles modern archaeologists is that there are extremely few doorways and almost no windows in Pachiacta. All sectors are isolated from each other, and avenues in the first 3 sectors have access only to some neighboring structures.
We work with
We might have to do a deep dive on that on a later video. But that's all I got for today's episode. If you made it this far, the code word is spaceship. Drop spaceship in the comments below so I know you made it all the way through this video and you a real one. Membership levels now available. You can become a buckled up bucko for just $1 now. And I got other more advanced ones. Check me out. I want to give a huge shout out to all my Darkwater 9s explorers. Special shout out to Mike for showing love on my last stream. Shout out to Apex. And also I want to give a shout out to the first ever Dark 9 Research Division member. Shout out to Brad for being the first ever Dark 9 Research Division. I appreciate all you guys for your support, and we're going to keep hitting this grindstone, dropping out bangers right and left at you. It's your boy JetskiChucK signing out. Have a good one. Peace.